This is Afternoons LALATE. The president did it. The $1,400 third stimulus checks have gone out. Those $1,400 third stimulus checks have landed in millions of Americans' bank accounts this weekend, and others are landing this coming Wednesday. I'll have the details of the mail check, the $1,400 third stimulus check coming by direct deposit, and the big April 7th date. All those exciting details across the board. Meantime, next Monday, tomorrow, surprising details as the big job numbers from Fridays are revealed. We'll see the impact on Wall Street and how that could impact stimulus across the board. And then away we go into the next phase as forced stimulus heats up. Forced stimulus will get a new round of talks this week and could actually get a bill. But along with that bill could be a major surprise. And what is that major surprise? As millions of Americans await those Senate Democrats to put monthly stimulus checks in that bill. Of all the details as well. And then happening today on Sunday was a big surprise. Out of nowhere, an offer of compromise. Yes, Republicans offer a compromise to get the stimulus bill out the door. How does that impact you? And how does that impact your reoccurring stimulus checks? Of all the details as well, as we start a big afternoon's recording about your stimulus check, your $14 third stimulus check, your reoccurring stimulus checks under the next stimulus package, and more. This is a big noontime recording as Afternoons LA kicks on underway right now. It's a big noontime, and how are you? As millions of Americans wonder how quickly that afternoon's LALATE stimulus check can land. It's very exciting, and I'm so excited you join me. How is your Sunday afternoon going? Happy Easter if you're celebrating Easter. Otherwise, happy Sunday. Congratulations to the valiant effort by those UCLA Bruins on the Final Four game last night. That was what a game to watch. Thank you for joining me on Afternoons LA. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's a big recording. I have a lot to cover in this video, and boy, it's exciting. It's a stay to the end. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member because, boy, the forced stimulus is about to hit right away, and I don't want you to miss that money. Meantime, there's a lot of other money under third stimulus, and I'll be going over that in this video as well. The member link is at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. All right, let's get to the breaking details. The breaking details is that $1,400 third stimulus check is landing. Thank goodness, away we go. That $1,400 third stimulus check underwent several waves. We are at wave 3 early in this week. But then, finally, that stimulus check went out. And these are the breaking details as you start your Sunday afternoon. The president has finally got those checks coming. $1,400 third stimulus checks are going out. On Friday, another round of stimulus checks were sent out by the U.S. Treasury. On Saturday morning, that update appeared in the IRS tool. But more about that tool in a second. The real surprise was there was no surprises. On Friday, I had told you that a series of banks would release the funds as soon as they got them on Friday, and they did. These banks released funds on Friday. They were Cash App, Chime, Bancorp, also Green Dot, NetSpend, MetaBank, and a few others. They released the funds on Friday, as this channel said they would, because they always release the funds early. Some released them as well on Saturday, and more could release them on Monday. But then we got to that tool. That IRS tool, as I told you, would go down on Friday night, and it did go down to update the database for Saturday morning. And when Saturday morning rolled up, so too did the tool updates occur. It's now reflecting that millions and millions of viewers of this channel have a pending stimulus check for April 7th. Congratulations. That April 7th pending stimulus check tool is for everyone from Direct Express by Comerica to big bank customers to Chase and Bank America, also SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. The big surprising news that we did not see unfold ahead of time was that veterans are also having their stimulus checks pending for next week. They will not have to wait till the middle of April because I have veterans sending me alerts that they have a pending stimulus check for next Wednesday. Meantime, what's going on with those mail checks and what do you need to know about the tool? First, there's a fix for the tool, or a hack, I guess you would say. Margie, one of the viewers of this channel, revealed the hack. What is it? If you go to the IRS tool, it doesn't show results for your name. Try it with the address in all caps. Put your address in all caps. It generally fixes the situation for 90% of the viewers of this channel. Really great advice there. Meantime, what about those mail checks? Well, those mail checks are still coming. Those March 26 mail checks are landing. March 26 checks are landing. They're coming late. And then those Wave 3 checks, which are April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they're on their way. And what we learned yesterday was that Wave 4 will have mail checks of April 9th. So watch the mail. The checks are coming. Also, really exciting, great news is those job numbers from Friday. Tomorrow, Wall Street will reopen for the first day of trading since those Friday jobs numbers came in. And we will see the reaction of Wall Street to those job numbers. What were those jobs numbers? It showed that in the month of March, we generated nearly 1 million jobs in the country. And this was incredibly nowhere to be seen ahead of time. In the prior months, we were doing about 300,000 jobs per month of new job creation. We have 8 million jobs missing. So we're expecting that job growth would not restore employment in this country for 16 months. What we had seen going into Friday was the following. The President of the United States, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Janet Yellen, your Treasury Secretary, all said that they would continue to support this economy for the next 16 months because job growth is still not there. But then out of nowhere came that surprising job number on Friday. And what did it say? 1 million jobs created in the month of March. Well, if there are 8 million jobs missing, that could signal we could be back to normal in 8 months. But we weren't done there. A series of reports on Friday signaled that perhaps we may be back to normal faster. What's going on? The reports are looking at the number of jobs that may be generated in the month of April, where we are right now. And those reports signal that we could see 2 million jobs created in the month of April, which would mean we were back to normal in 4 months, not in 8 months. This has a lot to do with your stimulus because ultimately the Federal Reserve, the President of the United States, all talk about stimulus if we're unemployed in next year. But if we're reemployed in 4 months, that could mean a big issue for stimulus. I'll be covering more about that later in this video. But the President of the United States talked about those jobs numbers during his meeting with the American people late on Friday. Let's listen in to hear what the President said when he was discussing those jobs numbers as soon as they hit on Friday.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Well, good morning. This morning we've learned that our economy created 900,000 jobs in March. It means the first 2 months of our administration has seen more new jobs created than the first 2 months in any administration in history. But we still have a long way to go to get our economy back on track after the worst economic and job crisis in nearly a century. But my message to the American people is this: help is here, opportunity is coming, and at long last there's hope for so many families. Credit for this progress belongs not to me but to the American people. Hard-working women and men who have struggled through this pandemic, never given up, and are determined to get the country back on track, as well as their families. But I think it's also a reflection of two things we're doing here. First, the new economic strategy we've launched, one focused on building from the bottom up and the middle out, and one that puts government on the side of working people, and that rewards work, not wealth. When we invest in the American people, It's not just those at the top that make our economy grow. They're the ones that make it grow, ordinary Americans. We saw the economy gain traction in March as the American Rescue Plan moved and got passed, bringing new hope to our country. And we're going to continue to implement that law in the weeks ahead. By April 7th, next week, over 130 million households will have gotten their $1,400 per person rescue check. Funds are on their way to local communities to put educators, healthcare workers, home healthcare aides, police, firefighters, sanitary workers back on the job. They're getting more aid for small businesses. We're also going to hang an open sign again on the door to rehire folks that had to be let go.
And away we go into the other items of third stimulus. What's important to understand is that over the next few days, the other items of third stimulus are about to go live. And as a viewer of this channel, you need to pounce as a purple hawk, and get that money, because that money won't be available indefinitely. Let's go over the money that's available in the third stimulus package. The third stimulus package amounts of money that are about to go live are the following: rent, food, homeowners, SBA monies, refunds, children, and hazard pay. Let's go over each of those one at a time and learn how it impacts you and how you get it. First, the big money that's about to go live is the rent that will be available in your city and states and counties. That was under third stimulus. That money you apply for locally. Also, a homeowner's assistance, including homeowners' bills, utilities, those will also be included in that local jurisdictions. Among that is mortgage assistance. Food, like SNAP, is now national, so apply at the Department of Agriculture for that right away. Meantime, SBA is about to go live with a series of their programs, which are the EIDL grant about to go live. Also, the Shuttered Venue Grant, which is not just for venues, is now in pre-application mode. So you can go to SBA.gov and apply to get that application ready. And finally, the Restaurant Grant is about to go live. These are all grants, no loans. These are all grants. Finally, late last Friday, the President of the United States signed an executive order extending the PPP grant, so get that as well. You're also going to see a series of refunds going live. And on Friday, we heard a major one. Let me go over those refunds. They're all concerning Treasury. IRS said on Friday that if you filed a 2020 tax return and paid taxes on your $10,200 of employment, you can get a tax refund for it. How do you do it? This is how you do it. You sit back and watch the mail. You don't have to do anything for it. It's automatic. In the month of May, IRS will send you a refund check for anyone who filed a 2020 tax return and paid taxes on their unemployment. But if you've not filed a 2020 tax return yet, what do you need to know? This is what you need to know. If you did not take out for taxes when you were getting that unemployment benefits, then go ahead and file the tax return. And remember, the first $10,200 is tax-free if you made less than $150 in that year. But if you did take out for taxes while receiving your benefits during the 2020 year, then wait, because Treasury is about to issue a statement explaining what you're to do. Also, for those children, guess what? That $3,600, if you have a child, is about to go live. And that $3,600 or $3,000, you may be worried that the IRS doesn't know where that child is. They don't want you to do anything just yet. They're going to provide guidance on how to get that information to them. Meantime, the $1,700 of financial aid, reach out to your college advisor. That's now available. Hazard pay is available $1,502 as an earned income tax credit. And then there's a lot of other items that are about to go live in the third stimulus package. What's important to know is that in the next few days, as early as this coming week, we could see the excitement of those monthly checks, which would be part of what is called the fourth stimulus package. The fourth stimulus package is about to be debuted, and ultimately the President of the United States is about to debut it in the next few days. When he debuts it, he won't put it in there. The Senate Democrats will put it in there. How does this work? The President of the United States is envisioning a reconciliation process again, and when the bill lands in the Senate, 21 of 50 senators are vowing to put multiple stimulus checks in there. Multiple stimulus checks? Yes. Let me go over all those details in just a second. But here's how the numbers would line up. $12,000 if it's $2,000 a month, or $8,000 if it's $8,400 a month. It's a lot of money. How does this money work and how does this formulate? I'll have all these details for you in just a second. But first, here's a little bit about the community page, which you may want to use if you need assistance with rent, utilities, and food, because that money is available now and won't be available indefinitely. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE. How are you? Happy Easter, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a relaxing and wonderful weekend. If you missed any videos because you are out and about this weekend, they're now archived on the channel. Watch those videos because you want to get up to date. What my message is very loud and clear is that third stimulus money, the other money, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 that you qualify for, I want you to get as soon as it goes live. I want you to know what it is and be ready to get it as soon as it goes live. Why? It's first come, first serve, number one. And number two, it's likely not to come back under fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus will have reoccurring stimulus checks, but it won't have rent again. It won't have utilities. It won't have these other items. So you want to get this money now while it's available under the third stimulus. Also, the business money as well. They're likely not to get extended one more time. So this is the time and place to get this money. And I'm going to show you how to get it. So stay with me every single minute across the day. I'm going to have a full lineup of programming tomorrow on Saturday, on Monday. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And also make sure you hit that like button. You've been doing a great job. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 likes. Let's try to get it. And also consider becoming a member. You want to become a member because these bills are about to heat up. The member link's at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Throughout today, I've not been able to cover some of those standalone bills, like the student loan debt forgiveness, which is really still at issue. I'll be covering that shortly. But what's going on for stimulus is that the President of the United States will be debuting that bill in the next few days. And then it goes off to the Senate for reconciliation. The Senate will butcher it and amend it in what's called a vote-a-rama. During that 2-day process, they'll amend the bill and put multiple stimulus checks in there. Multiple stimulus checks? Is that a reality? It absolutely is a reality. Let me explain how it'll work and what it will look like and what you need to know as you start the new day. Those monthly stimulus checks will be pushed by 21 of 50 Democrats who want the stimulus checks to be every month until the end of this year. They don't give us the amount of money, but they want the income qualifications to be the same as the third stimulus package. So if you got a stimulus check under the third, you get a stimulus check. You get these monthly stimulus checks. Same stimulus check amount for adult dependents as children. How much money would this be? It would be an enormous amount of money. Let's look at the numbers. If they got that bill out the door and signed into law in June, if it's every month till December, $2,000 a month, it would be $12,000. If they got it done in June at $1,400 a month, that would be $8,400. This is an enormous sum of money, and it needs to be done quickly because the quicker it's done, the quicker you have the stimulus check. But ironically, out of nowhere, today, Suddenly, an offer of compromise came through. But is that offer of compromise something that helps you or something that hurts you for purposes of reoccurring stimulus checks? I'll explain those details right now. But first, let me explain who are the people. The people at issue is this person and this person. First, let me start with the first individual. His name is Roy Blount, and he is a Republican, and he is from the state of Missouri. And in an interview today, he said that he has a Republican offer, or in this case, a counteroffer. He said we can get this stimulus bill done. How? His idea is to remove the non-infrastructure items from the bill. He wants to slash the bill from $2.2 trillion to $615 billion the following way. This is what he said Sunday. I think there's an easy way to here for the White House to win. If they would take the win, this would make an infrastructure package, which is about 30%. Even if you stretch the definition of infrastructure some, it's about 20%. It's about 30% of the bill we're talking about spending, Blunt said. If we go back and look at the roads and bridges and ports and airports, and maybe even underground water systems and broadband, you'd be talking about less than 30% of this entire stimulus package. I think 30% is about $615 or so billion dollars, said Blunt. I think you can do that and then some innovative things and look like we're going to get a deal with electric vehicles for use of the highway system, what we can do with a public-private partnership. Let me recap what he's basically saying. He's saying that if you look at the fourth stimulus package, the amount of the bill that concerns infrastructure, but also throwing in water systems, which is a little bit out of the edge of infrastructure, and electrical grids and electrical car systems. He says that comes in about 30% of the bill. He says all Republicans will support it, and he will get them to support it. But if you don't, then what happens? Mitch McConnell said on Friday what would happen. I'm going to fight every step of the way because I think this is a wrong prescription for America. Meantime, another person responded to the news. And who is that individual? That individual is this man, Brian Deese. He's head of the president's economic council. And in the same interview today, Deese said, let's also think about the long term, about where those investments are that we make and we really drive not just more growth, but better job growth. Not just job growth in the short term, but also job growth for the long term by investing in infrastructure. The question is whether Deese should take the offer or whether Deese is understanding the issues at hand. If Deese looks familiar, he should. He appeared in a video released from the White House, first detail on this channel, about Thursday. And in an interview segment, he's asked by an elderly man, what type of jobs do you have for me? The elderly man asked Deese to explain what type of jobs you have for this elderly man. And Deese's response is, I have some stuff to work on the freeway. Work on the freeway? Let's listen in.
To address caregiving across the country.
What kind of jobs does the plan actually create?
This plan will...
And there he is again. Let's hear that question clearly. What kind of jobs does the plan actually create? The older man says.
Jobs does the plan actually create?
This plan will create jobs all around the country, putting people to work building things, roads, bridges, highways, constructing new housing.
Roads, highways, and building things. Is that particularly the type of job that this individual would want to hear? We really don't know. Let's listen more to what Deese has to say.
Replacing lead pipes to ensure clean water for all Americans. It'll put people to work innovating in R&D and labs around the country, helping to create new discoveries in clean energy jobs of the future. And it will also help increase the pay and the dignity of the workers who provide.
And there was his response. Meantime, the President of the United States also addressed the American people several times over the weekend about the big relief that his fourth stimulus package would provide. Of course, nowhere in the message was those reoccurring stimulus checks. That's not a concern. That would be put in by the Democrats in the Senate. The president's message was that we need this relief, but what's important to understand is this calculation. Here's the rub, and there's a couple of things at issue here. These numbers are multiple stimulus checks. They would only formulate if the bill goes by reconciliation. If the bill doesn't go by reconciliation, then what? There's several things at play. Let me explain. First, As viewers of this channel, you want to take this video and share it on social media with the hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Tag your senators who are Democrats and say, get this bill done right now. Why? First, every month that passes is a stimulus check. But the more obvious situation is that if the unemployment numbers improve with a job growth of 2 million jobs per month and there's 8 million jobs missing, in 4 months, those job numbers could be back to zero. You don't want the economy to rebound enough while they're waiting on this bill. You want this bill signed into law as soon as possible while the jobs numbers is not good, so that you don't have to worry that Democrats back off because the economy is rebounding too quickly. Number two, the president has signaled that he wants to talk with Republican allies in the next few days about doing this by bipartisanship. Here's the problem. If you do it by bipartisanship, do you think the Republicans are going to pay you $12,000 of stimulus checks? So ultimately, the president asking for Republicans to do this by partisanship will delay the situation and potentially put you in jeopardy that the economy rebounds sooner than the stimulus bill gets into the Senate. That's the first problem. And the second problem is that if he tries to get senators who are Republicans to sign on to the bill, they will sign on to the bill to do freeways, but not to do stimulus checks. So take this video and push those Democratic senators to get this bill out the door as fast as possible by reconciliation. Meantime, other messages heating up this weekend are really the questions about where we are on the virus. Dr. Walensky, no less than just a few days ago, was nearly in tears when talking about the resurgence of the virus. Then one day she said after that Americans should not travel if they don't have to. She reverted back to being an optimistic in tone. So let's listen to a current message as we go into the new week and expect to hear another briefing from her tomorrow.
About the B.1.526 variant and its classification as a variant of interest rather than a variant of concern. I want to be clear that listing a variant as one of interest rather than a variant of concern does not mean we are not prioritizing the variant or that the variant is not important for us to carefully follow. Rather, it means that we are still working to understand the variant, gather data on it, and determine its impact on medical therapies, disease severity, and transmissibility. As we are better able to characterize the variant, its classification may change based on those findings. In the case of B.1.526, the one most recently found frequently in New York, we continue to assess its prevalence regionally and nationally, its transmissibility, and to conduct studies to understand how its mutations, for example, its E484K substitution, impact therapeutic and antibody responses. Until those assessments are complete, it will remain a carefully followed variant of interest.
As we start the new day, Wall Street will have to assess risk. And among the risks it has to assess is, of course, the variants. The risks at issue are the following. Wall Street does not know what to think about that resurgence of the virus across the country. There's currently 5,000 new cases a day being reported in certain parts of the country, no less than 30 states. Second, Wall Street will have to react to those big job numbers tomorrow. And will Wall Street go up or go down? Too much good news is a confusion when there's questions about whether the good news is coming too quickly and too strongly. Also, we don't have embedded the risk factors of whether or not the reopening plays have not worked. Certain states have saw reopening has caused concern for economies of scale, but also not helping. California, for example, tomorrow in LA County, bars will reopen for the first time in over a year because California's numbers have dropped to incredibly low numbers of COVID cases. But is that a mistake to reopen so soon when just a few weeks ago California was nearly on full lockdown? We will see all these implications across the board. The big news as you start the new morning is the following. I'll be back with you on evenings LATE at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's a big broadcast. Don't miss that tonight. It's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't want you to miss that recording as well. And then Hazard Pay at 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And then we go into Monday morning with EIDL at 3, 6 a.m. on the East Coast, FPUC Retro at 6:30, and finally, early mornings LA at 7. I don't want you to miss a single thing. Moreover, on a personal level, this is what's important to know on a personal level. Third stimulus items are about to go live. I want you to get that money. I'm happy and I'm so excited that you're finally getting that $14 stimulus check. But that will be used up relatively soon, that $14 stimulus check. And I don't want you to use up the $14 stimulus check and then a few weeks later come back and say, when am I getting another stimulus check? To which I say, well, there's a lot of money available for third stimulus for you right now, and you disappeared and you came back and now it's gone. As a Purple Hawk, I'm not worried about you. The members of this channel are absolutely on top of it. I'm worried about people who aren't members. Remember, third stimulus is first come, first serve, and the money is likely to not be replenished under a fourth stimulus package. When we're talking about rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, this is likely the last run for those items. So I want you to get those items with me as soon as they go live. This next week is going to be a big week, especially for the business money as well. If you make less than $35,000 a year, you qualify for rent, utilities, food, homeowners assistance, all this money. You also qualify for the child credit and all those items. And then my business people who are Schedule C, you qualify for the other items as well. It's important you get them as soon as they go live because it's first come, first serve. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big Afternoons LA. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay at life for more.